Or have I met him yet?
No, not yet, dear. Are the biscuits good?
Bully!
Won't you have another biscuit, Dr. Harper?
Oh, no, thank you, Miss Abby. I'm afraid I'll have no appetite for dinner now. I always eat too many of your biscuits just to taste that lovely jam.
Oh, but you haven't tried the quince. We always put a little apple in with it just to take the tartness out.
Oh, no, thank you.
Oh, we'll send you over a jar.
No, you keep it here so I can be sure of having your biscuits with it.
Well, you know, I do hope they don't make us use that imitation flour again. I mean, with all this war trouble, it may not be very charitable of me, but I've almost come to the conclusion that Mr. Hitler isn't a Christian.
If only Europe were on another planet.
Europe, sir?
Yes, Teddy.
Point your gun the other way.
Gun?
Teddy!
To the west! There's your danger. There's your enemy, Japan.
Oh, yes. Yes, of course.
Now, Teddy.
No more talk about Europe and more about that canal.
Oh, enough of this war trouble. Won't you have another cup of tea, dear?
No thanks, Aunt Abby.
Dr. Harper?
No, thank you, Miss Abby. I must admit that war and violence seem far removed from these surroundings.
It is peaceful here, isn't it?
Yes, peaceful. The virtues of another day, they're all here in this house. The gentle virtues that went out with candlelight and good manners. And low taxes.
It's just as it was when Grandfather Brewster built and furnished it. Oh, except for the electricity, and we used that as little as possible. It was Mortimer who persuaded us to put it in.
Yes, Mortimer. Your nephew seems to live only by electric light.
Oh, and the poor boy has to work so late. Oh, I understand he's taking Elaine with him to the theater again tonight. Teddy, your brother Mortimer will be home a little later.
Delighted!
We're so happy it's Elaine Mortimer takes to the theater with him.
Well, it's a new experience for me to wait up until 3 o'clock in the morning for my daughter to be brought home.
Oh, Dr. Harper, I hope you don't disapprove of Mortimer. Well, we'd feel so awful if you did. Sister Martha and I, after all, it was here in our home where your daughter met Mortimer.
And so I'll say immediately that I believe Mortimer to be quite a worthy gentleman. But I must also admit, I've watched a great intimacy between your nephew and my daughter with quite some trepidation. For one reason, Miss Abby.
His stomach, Dr. Harper.
Stomach?
His dyspepsia. He's bothered with it so.
No, Miss Abby. I'll be frank with you. I'm speaking of your nephew's unfortunate connection with the theater.
The theater? Oh, no, Dr. Harper. Mortimer writes for a New York newspaper.
I know, Miss Abby, but a dramatic critic is constantly exposed to the theater. And I don't doubt but what some do develop an interest in it.
Well, not Mortimer. You have no fear of that. Why, Mortimer hates the theater.
Really?
Yes, he writes awful things about the theater. But you can't blame him, poor boy. He was so happy writing about real estate, which he really knew something about. Then they made him take this terrible night position.
My.
Yes, but as he says, the theater can't last much longer anyway, and besides, it's a living. Yes, I think if we give the theater another year or two, perhaps it would come. No, thank you, Teddy. I'll go. Oh, hello, Mr.
What news have you brought me?
Colonel, we have nothing to report.
Splendid, thank you, ladies. At ease.
We know Dr. Harper.
Hi, Dr. Harper. We've come for the toys for the Christmas fund.
Oh,
That is splendid work you ladies do, fixing up discarded toys to give poor children a happier Christmas.
Well, you know, it does give us something to do all day. We get bored at the mission, so we start playing bridge. We get bored with that, so we start knitting. And the first thing you know is you've gone and stuck yourself in the eye with a knitting needle. Ethel here did it just last week.
But Teddy, can you go upstairs and get that box from your Aunt Martha's room? Oh, how is your father doing? Oh, Mr. Cunningham has been quite ill, Dr. Harper.
Pneumonia.
Sorry to hear that.
George!
Oh, he's better now. A little weak still. The doctor
I'll get you some beef broth to take to him.
Bother with that, Miss Abby. You've done so much already.
Oh, it won't be a bother. Now, Sister Martha and I made it this morning. She's taking some over to poor Mr. Vinitsky right now. I won't be a minute. Sit down and be comfortable, all of you. She shouldn't go to all that trouble.
Listen, you try to stop her or her sister from doing something nice, and for nothing, they don't even care how you vote.
Well, when I got my call to Brooklyn and moved next door, my wife wasn't well. When she died, and months before, if I know what pure kindness and absolute generosity are, it's because I've known the Brewster sisters.
Teddy, you promised not to do that.
But I have to call a cabinet meeting to get the release of those supplies.
He used to do that in the middle of the night. The neighbors raised Cain. I think they're a little afraid of him, you know.
Oh, he's quite harmless.
Suppose he does think he's Teddy Roosevelt. There's a lot worse people he could think he was. Well, I think it's a darn shame a nice family like that hatching a cuckoo.
Well, his father, the old girl's brother, was some sort of a genius, wasn't he?
Uh-huh.
And their father, Teddy's grandfather, seems to me he was a little crazy, too.
Oh, yeah, he was crazy. Crazy like a fox. He made $1 million.
Oh, really? Here in Brooklyn?
Yeah, patent medicine or something. He used the house here sort of as a clinic. You know, he tried them out on people.
Yeah, I heard he made mistakes occasionally, too.
The mission never bothered him much, see. He was pretty useful in the autopsies for the homeless, especially those poison cases. Well, whatever he did, he left those daughters set for life. Thank God for that.
Not that they ever spent any of it on themselves.
Well acquainted with their charities.
No, you don't know the tenth of it. When my boyfriend was in the missing persons bureau, he tried to trace an old man that he never did find. Anyways, there is a renting agency that has this house on its list of furnished rooms. They do not rent rooms here, but you bet anyone that comes looking for one gets a good meal and probably a few dollars in their kick when they leave. Well, it's just their way to get people to do some good, too.
Oh, isn't this nice? Miss Brewster, Jane, Ethel, Lois. Oh, hello, Dr. Harper. We just come for the Christmas toys. Oh, Teddy's army and lady. They're upstairs. I'll run up and get them.
Oh, no. Teddy's up after them. It seems our cabinet has no haters.
Of course. How is your father doing?
Oh, he's doing much better now. Your sister Annie just went to get him some beef broth.
Oh, we made that this morning. I just took some of it to a man who broke ever so many bottles.
Mama, you're back. How is Mr. Vinitsky?
It's pretty serious, I'm afraid. The doctor was there and they're going to amputate in the morning.
Can we be present?
No. I asked. I guess it's against the rules of the hospital.
Well, you could be of any help, and you must spare yourself something.
Well, Ethel, here's the beef broth. Be sure it's good and hot.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
This is fine. It'll make a lot of kids happy. That O'Malley boy is just nuts about soldiers.
That's General Miles. I retired him. What's this? The Oregon.
Teddy, dear, what is that?
But the Oregon goes to Australia.
Now, Teddy, now.
I've given my word to Fighting Bob Evans.
Oh, Bobby Evans, is he going? What's the difference? What kid does it?
We'll run along, ma'am, and thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Well, I'd better be going.
Well, before you go, Dr. Harper.
Charge! Charge the blockhouse!
The blockhouse?
The stairs are always San Juan Hill.
Have you ever tried to persuade him that he wasn't Teddy Roosevelt?
Oh, no, he's so happy being Teddy Roosevelt.
Once, a long time ago, remember, Martha? We thought that if he would be George Washington, it might be a change for him.
But he just stayed under his bed for days and wouldn't be anybody.
And we'd so much rather he'd be Mr. Roosevelt than a nobody.
Well, if he's happy, and what's more, you're happy, you'll see that he signs these.
What are they?
And Dr. Harper has arranged for Teddy to go to the Happydale Sanitarium after we pass on.
Oh, but why should he sign anything now?
It's better to have it all settled. If the Lord should take you away suddenly, perhaps we couldn't get Teddy to sign the commitment papers, and that would mean an unpleasant legal situation. Miss Witherspoon understands they are to be filed away until the time comes to use them.
Miss Witherspoon? Who is she?
She's the superintendent of Happydale.
Yes, Dr. Harper has arranged for her to stop by tomorrow or the next day to meet Teddy. Oh,
Yes, well, I'd better be running along, or Elaine will be over here looking for me.
oh, well, give our love to Elaine. And Dr. Harper, don't think harshly of Mortimer because he's a dramatic critic. Some people have to do those things.
Abby, did you just have tea? Isn't it rather late?
Yes, dear. And dinner's going to be late, too.
So why?
Oh, Teddy, good news for you. You're going to Panama and dig another lock for the canal.
Delighted, that's bully, just bully. I'll prepare once for my journey.
Abby, while I was out?
Yes, dear, I just couldn't wait for you, and Dr. Harper was coming.
Oh, but all by yourself.
Oh, I got along just fine.
Oh, run downstairs to see.
Oh, no, dear, there wasn't time, and I was all alone.
Well,
Martha, just look in the window seat.
go.
It's Elaine. Oh, come in, dear.
Good afternoon, Miss Abby. Good afternoon, Miss Martha. I thought my father was here.
Oh, he just this minute left. Didn't you meet him?
Oh, no, I cut through the cemetery. Mortimer hasn't come yet?
No, not yet, dear.
Oh, well, he asked me to meet him here. Do you mind if I wait?
Not at all. Come sit. Oh, we really must speak to Mortimer about him doing this to you.
Oh, doing what?
Well, Mortimer was brought up to know better. When a gentleman is taking a young lady out, he should call for her at her house.
Oh, there's something about calling a girl at a parsonage that discourages any man who doesn't embroider.
Well, he's done this one too many times. We're going to speak to him.
Oh, please don't. After a young man's idea of nightlife is to take me to the prayer meeting, well, it's wonderful to go to the theater almost every night of my life.
Oh, it's comforting for us too, dear. Mortimer's going to see some of those plays he has to see. At least he's sitting next to the minister's daughter.
Elaine, what you must think of us not having tea cleared away by this time.
Oh, don't touch anything in the kitchen until Mortimer comes, and then I'll come in to help you. He should be running along any minute now.
Yes, Father must have been surprised not to find me at home. I better run off and tell him good night.
Oh, well, it's a shame you missed him.
Well, if Mortimer comes, just tell him I'll be right back. Oh, hi, Mort.
Oh, hello, Elaine. Hello, Aunt Martha.
Oh, hello. Abby, Mortimer's here.
You going somewhere, dear?
I was just going over to tell Father not to wait up for me tonight.
Oh, I didn't know that was still being done, even in Brooklyn.
Hello, Mortimer.
Oh, hello, Aunt Abby.
How are you, dear?
Oh, I'm fine, and you look well. You haven't changed much since yesterday.
Why, it was yesterday, wasn't it? We're seeing a great deal of you lately. Well, come sit down, dear. Sit down. Come on. Abby, haven't we something to do in the kitchen? The tea things? Oh, yes, the tea things. Well, you two just make yourselves at home. Just
Make yourselves at home.
Well, can't you take a hint?
No, that was pretty obvious. A lack of inventiveness, I would say.
Yes, that's exactly what you'd say.
Where do you want to go for dinner tonight?
Oh, I don't care. I'm not very hungry.
Well, I just ate breakfast. Suppose we wait until after the show?
Well, that'll make it pretty late, won't it?
Nah, not with a little stinker we're seeing tonight. From what I've heard about it, we'll be at Blake's by 10.
You ought to be fair to these plays.
Are these plays fair to me?
I've never seen you walk out on a musical.
Well, that musical isn't opening tonight.
Oh, it's not?
Darling, you'll have to learn the rules. You see, with a musical, there are at least 4 changes of title and 3 postponements. You know, they liked it in New Haven, but it still needs a lot of work.
Oh, I was hoping it was a musical.
You have such a light mind, dear.
Oh, not at all. Musicals have a humanizing effect on you. Well, after serious drama, we join the proletariat in the subway and we listen to the lecture on the drama. After a musical, you take me home in a taxi and make a few passes.
Now, darling, that's a very inaccurate piece of reporting.
I'll have to admit that after the Berryman play, you said I had authentic beauty. And that's a hell of a thing to say to a girl. But it wasn't until after our first musical that you said I had a nice pair of legs, and I do too.
You know, for a minister's daughter, you should know a lot about life, dear. Where'd you learn it?
The choir loft.
Ah, I'll have to explain that to you sometime, darling. The close connection between eroticism and religion.
Oh, religion never gets high as the choir loft. Which reminds me, I better tell Father not to wait up for me tonight.
No, I never could rationalize it.
Well, what?
My falling in love with a girl that lives in Brooklyn.
Falling in love? You're not stooping to the articulate, are you?
You know, I guess the only way to regain my self-respect would be to keep you in New York.
Keep? Did you say keep?
Oh, no, I realize you're only holding out full of legalities.
Well, I can be a good girl for quite a few years yet.
I can't wait that long, dear. Where can we be married in a hurry? Say tonight?
Well, I'm afraid my father insists on officiating.
Oh, God, I'll bet your father could make even the marriage service sound pedestrian.
Are you writing a review of it?
Forgive me, darling. It's an occupational disease. Might give that play tonight a good notice.
Oh, don't pretend that you love me that much.
And, I'd be sure to tell your father not to wait up for you tonight.
I think tonight I better tell Father to wait up for me.
And I'll telephone Winchell to publish the bans.
Nevertheless.
Okay, everything formal and legal, but no later than next month.
Oh, darling, I'll talk it over with Father and we'll set the date.
All right, well, no, we'll have to see what's in it. First night in October.
Oh, hello, Mortimer!
How are you, Mr. President?
Bully, just bully! What news have you brought me?
Just this, sir, that the country is squarely behind...
I know, isn't it wonderful? Well, goodbye.
Goodbye, sir.
Goodbye!
Oh, where are you off to, Teddy?
Panama!
Yeah, Panama's in the cellar. It's locked for the canal down there.
Oh, you're so sweet with him. He's very fond of you.
Well, you know, Teddy always was my favorite.
Favorite? You mean there was more of you?
Yeah, I had a sister named Joan.
Joan? I never heard of her. Your aunt's never mentioned her before.
Well, that's because we don't like to talk about Joan. Well, you see, Joan left Brooklyn very early by request.
Oh?
Yeah, well, Joan was the kind of girl who liked to cut worms in two with her teeth.
Well, what became of her?
Well, I'm not sure exactly. Last I heard, she wanted to become a surgeon, you know, like my grandfather, but she refused to go to medical school first, and her practice got her into trouble.
Oh.
Aren't you two going to be late for the theater?
No, we're skipping dinner. We won't have to start for about half an hour.
Well, then I'll leave you two alone together again.
Oh, don't bother, darling. I'm going home to speak to Father. Before I go out with you, he likes to pray over me a little. I'll cut through the cemetery.
Elaine, if the prayer doesn't take too long, I'd have time to lead you beside, the still waters.
Oh, Mortimer. Oh, Mortimer, that's the first time I've heard you quote the Bible. We knew Elaine would be a good influence for you.
Yeah, by the way, I'm gonna marry her.
What? Oh, darling. Martha, come in here. I have the most wonderful news for you. Mortimer and Elaine are going to be married. Married? Oh, Mortimer. We hoped it would happen just like this.
Oh, Elaine must be the happiest girl in the whole world.
Happy, just look at her leaping over those gravestones. Oh, hey, what's that?
Oh, what's what, dear?
You see that gravestone there?
Yes.
That's a, Horing Danita Carnina.
Oh, no, dear, that's Emma V. Stout, ascending to heaven.
No, on Mrs. Stout's left ear. You see that bird? That's a red-crested swallow. I've only seen one of those before in my life.
I don't see how you could be talking about a bird at a time like this. What with Elaine and the engagement and everything?
Well, it's a vanishing species, and Henry David Thoreau was very fond of them. That's right. Last week, I left a large envelope around here. It had one of my chapters in my book on Thoreau. Have either of you seen it?
No, but if you left it here, it must be here somewhere.
Well, what are your plans? When are you going to be married? There must be something more you can tell us about Elaine.
Elaine thought it was brilliant.
What was, dear?
My book on Thoreau?
Well, when Elaine gets back, I think we ought to have a little celebration. We must drink to your happiness. Oh, Martha, is there any more of that Lady Baltimore cake left?
Oh, yes.
And I'll open a bottle of wine.
Oh, and to think it happened in this very room.
Where can I have put that?
Well, Mortimer, with your fiancé sitting beside you tonight, I hope the play is something you can enjoy for once. It may be something romantic. What's the name of it?
Murder Will Out.
Oh, dear.
First thing you'll see when the curtain opens up will be a dead body. And the next thing you know... Aunt Abby?
Yes, dear.
Do you remember how we were going to make plans for Teddy to go to that, the sanitarium in Happydale?
Oh, yes, Dr. Harper was here this afternoon. He brought the papers over for Teddy to sign. Here they are.
He's got gotta sign these right away.
Yes, that's what Dr. Harper thinks. That way there won't be any legal difficulties after we pass on.
No, Teddy has to sign them right now. Look, he's down in the cellar. Will you get him up here right away, please?
Well, there's no such hurry as that.
No, when Teddy gets working on the canal, you cannot get his mind on anything else.
No, dears, Teddy has to go to Happydale now, tonight.
Oh, no, dear, that's not until after we've gone.
No, right away, I tell you, right away.
Mortimer, how can you say such a thing? For as long as we live, we'll never be separated from Teddy.
All right, darlings. Frightfully sorry, but I have some very shocking news for you. We're all going to try and keep our heads, all right? Well, you know how we sort of humored Teddy because we thought he was harmless?
Oh, why, he is harmless.
No, he was harmless, and that's why he has to go to Happydale, why he has to be confined.
Mortimer, why have you suddenly turned against Teddy, your own brother?
All right, look, you're going to find out sometime. Might as well tell you now. Well, Teddy's killed a man, yes.
It's nonsense, dear.
But there's a body in the window seat.
Yes, dear, we know.
You know?
Yes, dear, but it has nothing to do with Teddy.
What?
Now, Mortimer, just forget about the whole thing.
Wait, forget?
Oh, we never dreamed you'd peek.
But who is he?
His name's Hoskins. Adam Hoskins. That's really all I know about him, except that he's a Methodist.
That's all you know about him. Well, what happened to him? What's he doing there?
He died.
And Mark. And don't just get into window seats and die.
No, he died first.
Well, how did he die?
Oh, Mortimer, don't be so inquisitive. The gentleman died because he drank some wine with poison in it.
And how did the poison get into the wine?
Well, we put it in wine because it's less noticeable. When you put it in tea, it has that distinct odor.
Wait, you don't put it in the wine?
Yes, and I put Mr. Hoskins in the window seat because Dr. Harper was coming.
So you know what you've done, and you put the body in there because you didn't want Dr. Harper to see it?
Well, not at tea. That wouldn't have been very nice. Now, Mortimer, you know the whole thing. Just forget about it. I do think Martha and I have a right to our own little secrets.
And don't you tell Elaine. Oh, Abby, while I was out, I stopped in on Mrs. Schultz. She's feeling much better, but she would like us to take Junior to the movies again.
Oh, well, we'll do that tomorrow or the next day.
But this time, we're going to go see something that we want to see. Junior's not taking me into one of those scary pictures again.
Yeah, hi, Al. Do you know what this is? Great. All right, now, all right, when I left the office, I told you where I was going, right? Okay, what did I say? All right, now, it'll take me about half an hour to get to Brooklyn. What time have you got? Really? That's right. I must be here. Hey, Abby, Aunt Martha, come in here. What are we gonna do?
What are we going to do about what?
There's a body in there.
Yes, Mr. Hoskins.
Oh, jeez, what happens? I can't turn you over to the police. What am I gonna do?
Well, for one thing, you can stop being so excited.
And for pity's sake, stop worrying. We told you to forget about the whole thing.
Forget? My dear Aunt Abby, can't I make you realize that something has to be done?
Mortimer, you behave yourself. You're too old to be flying off the handle like
But
this.
Mr. Hotchkiss!
Hoskins, dear.
Well, whatever his name is, you can't just leave him in there.
Well, we don't intend to.
No, Teddy's downstairs now, digging the lock.
Oh, you mean to tell me you're going to bury Mr. Hotchkiss in the cellar?
Yes, dear, that's what we've done with the others.
Oh, you can't bury Mr. Hotchkiss. Others?
The other gentleman.
All right, when you say others, do you mean others as in more than one other?
Yes, dear. Let me see. This one would make 11.
No, dear, this makes 12.
No, Abby, I think you're wrong. This is only 11.
No, dear, because I remember when Mr. Hoskins first came, it occurred to me that this would make an even dozen.
Well, we really shouldn't count the first one.
Well, I was counting the first one, and this makes 12.
Hello? Hello? Oh, hi, Al. It's good to hear your voice.
Well, anyway, we're all down in the cellar.
What? Oh, no, I'm sober as a lark, Al. Huh? No, I just called you before because I was feeling a little Pirandello. Yeah, you wouldn't know, Al. But I'm glad you called. You gotta get a hold of George. He's gotta cover the play for me tonight. I can't make it. No, Al. But, Al, you're wrong, all right? I'll tell you about it tomorrow. Well, George has got to cover the play for me tonight. Look, this is my department, and I'm running it. Now you get a hold of George. Goodbye. 12!
Yes, dear. Abby thinks we should count the first one, and that would make 12.
All right. Now, who was the first one?
Mr. Midgley, he was a Baptist.
But we really shouldn't claim full credit for that one. You see, he just died.
Martha means without any help from us. You see, Mr. Midgley came here looking for a room.
It was right after you moved to New York.
Yes, and it didn't seem right for all those lovely rooms to be going to waste when there were so many people who needed them.
Oh, and he was such a lonely old man.
All his kith and kin were dead, and he was so forlorn and unhappy.
We felt so sorry for him.
And when his heart attack came, he sat dead in that chair. Remember, Martha? Looking so peaceful. We thought that if we could help other gentlemen to that same type of peace, we would.
So he died in that chair? Oh, how awful for you two.
Oh, no, not really. It was rather like old times. Grandfather always used to have a cadaver or two around the house. So you see, Teddy was digging in Panama, and he thought that Mr. Midgley was a yellow fever victim.
That meant he had to be buried right away.
So we all took him down to Panama and put him in the lock. Now, you see, Mortimer, there's no need for you to worry, because Abby and I know exactly what has to be done.
And that's how all this started? That man just walking in here and dropping dead?
Well, of course, we couldn't depend on that happening all the time.
So you remember all those... So do you remember all those jars of poison up in Grandfather's laboratory?
And you know your Aunt Martha's knack for mixing things. You've eaten enough of her piccalilli.
For 1 gallon of elderberry wine, you take a teaspoonful of arsenic, half a teaspoonful of strychnine, and a pinch of cyanide.
Should have quite a kick.
Yes. In fact, one gentleman found enough time to say, "How delicious!"
Well, I'll get things started in the kitchen.
Oh, I wish you could stay for dinner.
I'm trying a new recipe.
No, I couldn't eat a thing.
Well, I'll be in a minute to help you, dear.
Well, I feel so much better now.
Oh, you have to wait for Elaine, don't you?
How happy you must be.
Well, I'll leave you alone with your thoughts.
It's you!
Well, don't be cross, darling. Father could see I was excited, so when I told about us, it made it hard for me to get away. But listen, Mortimer, Father's not gonna wait up for me tonight.
Oh, that's nice, dear. Now, why don't you run along home and I'll call you up tomorrow, all right?
Tomorrow?
You know, I always call you up every day or two.
But Mortimer, I thought we were going to the theater tonight.
No, we're not.
Well, why not?
Something's come up.
What could possibly come up, Mortimer? Have you lost your job?
No, dear, I haven't lost my job. I'm just not covering that play tonight. So why don't you run along home and I'll call you up, all right?
But Mortimer, you can tell me what happened.
No, I can't.
But Mortimer, if we're gonna be married.
Married?
Have you forgot 15 minutes ago you proposed to me?
I did. Oh, yes, I did. As far as I know, that'll still be on, dear. But, listen, why don't you run along home and I'll call you up tomorrow, all right?
Look, Mortimer, you can't just propose to me 1 minute and throw me out of the house the next.
Darling, I'm not throwing you out. Now, will you please get out of here?
No, I will not. Not until I've had some kind of explanation.
Oh, don't go over that late.
Mortimer?
Hello? Yeah, hi, Al. All right, look, I know it's important, but it can wait a second, can it? All right, hold on. Elaine. Elaine, dear, you're a very sweet girl, and I love you very much, but I have a lot of stuff to do, and I'd really appreciate it if you went home and waited for me.
Don't try to be mystical!
Look, when we're married and I have problems to face, I hope you're a little bit less tedious and uninspired.
Well, when we're married, if we're married, I hope I find you adequate!
Oh, wait, Elaine! Elaine! Oh,
My name's Gibbs.
Oh, well, come sit down. I'm sorry, we were just setting the table for dinner.
Yeah, hi, city desk. Let me speak to Al again. Yeah, Al. City desk? What? Oh, I'm sorry, wrong number.
May I see the room?
Well, why don't you sit down and we'll get acquainted first?
That won't do much good if I don't like the room.
Is Brooklyn your home?
Haven't got a home. Live in a hotel. Don't like it.
Hello, city desk?
Well, are your family Brooklyn people?
Haven't got any family.
All alone in the world?
Yup.
Well, Martha.
Well, if you won't join, why don't you sit down and
Oh.
a bit?
Yeah, hi, Al. Yeah, good morning. Sorry, we got cut off. Yeah, I can't cover the plate tonight. No, that's all there is to it. I can't.
What church do you belong to? There's an Episcopal one practically right next door.
Presbyterian. Used to be.
Well, what is George doing in Bermuda? Well, of course I told him he could go to Bermuda. It's my apartment, isn't it? Look, Al, you gotta get somebody to cover the plate. Who else is there around the office?
Is there always this much noise?
Oh, no, he doesn't live with us.
Well, look, Al, come on, there's gotta be somebody. Hey, how about the office boy? You know, the smart one, the one we don't like? Or you look around and hold on.
I'd really like to see the room.
It's upstairs. Won't you try a glass of our wine before we start up?
Never touch it.
Oh, well, we make this ourselves. It's elderberry wine.
Elderberry wine? Haven't tasted that since I was a boy. Thank you.
Look, Al, come on, there gotta be some printers around the place. Why don't you look? Hey, how about the guy who sets my copy? Yeah, he ought to know something about what I write. His name's Joe. He's the third machine from the left. No, wait! Yeah, don't get him. He could be another Burns Mantle.
Do you have your own elderberry bushes?
No, but the cemetery is full of them.
No, I'm not drinking, but I'm gonna start now.
Do you serve meals?
We might, but first see whether or not you like our wine.
Mortimer, Mortimer, not that.
All right, fine. Now, what can I have? What's he having? You get out of here. Do you want to be murdered? Do you want to be poisoned? Do you want to be killed? Get out! Get out of here!
Now you've spoiled everything.
Look, you can't do things like that. I don't know how to explain this to you, but, well, it's not only against the law, it's wrong. It's not a nice thing to do. I mean, well, people wouldn't understand. He wouldn't understand.
Abby, we shouldn't have told Mortimer.
All that I'm trying to say is that this is developing into a very bad habit.
Mortimer, we don't try to stop you from doing things you like to do. I don't see why you should interfere with us.
Hello? Hi, Al. Yes. Okay, fine. I'll see the first act, and then I'm gonna pan the hell out of it. And look, you gotta do a favor for me. Yeah, get a hold of O'Brien, the lawyer. Yes, he's the head of our legal department. Have him meet me at the theater. You'll do that for me? Okay, now don't let me down. All right, I'm leaving now. Goodbye. All right, Aunties. I have to go to the theater. I can't get out of it. Well, before I go, I wondered if you'd do something for me.
Well, we have to know what it was first.
I love you very much, and I know that you love me, and Aunt Martha, you know I'd do anything in the world for you, and before I go, I wondered if you'd do just one tiny little thing for me.
What do you want us to do?
Don't do anything. And I mean don't do anything. Don't let anybody into this house while I'm gone, and leave Mr. Hoskins where he is.
Why?
I need time to think, and I got quite a little to think about. Well, you know I wouldn't want anything to happen to you.
What on earth could happen to us?
Well, look, you'll do this for me, right?
Well, we were planning on having services before dinner.
Services?
You don't think we'd bury Mr. Hoskins without a full Methodist service, do you? Well, he was a Methodist.
Well, can't that wait until I get back?
Well, then you can join us.
Yes, I'll join you!
Oh, Mortimer, you'll love the services, especially the hymns. Remember how beautifully Mortimer used to sing in the choir before his voice changed?
You'll do this for me, right? It's a promise?
Well, Martha, we can do this for him now that he's cooperating with us. Well, all right, Mortimer.
Thank you. Oh, no, wait. Do you have any paper? There's a man I've got to meet. I'll get back as soon as I can.
Here's some stationery. Will this do?
Oh, yeah, that'll be fine. I'll save time if I write my review on the way to the theater.
Abby, Mortimer didn't seem like himself today.
Well, I think it's natural. I think I know why.
Why?
Well, the boy's just become engaged to be married. I suppose that always makes a man nervous.
Oh, and I'm so happy for Elaine. The honeymoon ought to give Mortimer a real vacation. I don't think they got much rest this summer.
Well, at least they didn't go kiting off to China or Spain.
I never did understand why they wanted to go to those places.
Well, I think to Mortimer, the theater seems like pretty small potatoes. He needs something big to criticize. Something like the human race.
Oh, Abby, if Mortimer's coming back for the services, then we're going to need another hymnal. I think there's one in my room. I'll run up and get it.
Oh, well, dear, since you weren't here when Mr. Hoskins came, I want you to read the services.
Well, that's very nice of you, dear. Are you sure?
It's only fair.
Well, I think I'm going to wear my dark bombazine with Mother's old brooch.
Well, I'll go, dear.
Oh, but we promised Mortimer we wouldn't let anyone in. What do you suppose it is? I don't know. Let's look. It's two women. And I've never seen them before. There's a car at the curb. They must have come in that. Let me look. Do you recognize them? They're strangers to me. Well, we'll just have to pretend that we're not at home.
Come in, Doctor. This is the home of my youth. As a girl, I couldn't wait to escape from this place, and now I'm glad to escape back into it.
Yeah, Johnny, it's a fine hideout.
The family must still live here. There's something so unmistakably Brewster about the Brewsters. I hope there's a fatted calf awaiting the return of the prodigal.
Yeah, I'm hungry. Look, Johnny, drinks.
As though we were expected. A good omen.
Who are you? What are you doing here?
Why, Aunt Abby. Aunt Martha. It's Joan.
You get out of here.
I'm Joan. Your niece, Joan.
You're not Joan, so stop pretending you are. You just get out of here.
But I am Joan. And this is Dr. Einstein.
That's not Dr. Einstein either.
Not Dr. Albert Einstein. Dr. Helga Einstein.
Who'd you say you were? You're not our niece, Joan.
Why, Aunt Abby, I see you're still wearing the garnet ring that Grandma Brewster brought back from England. And you, Aunt Martha, still wearing those high collars to hide the scars from where Grandfather's acid burned you?
Well, her voice is like Joan's.
Have you been in an accident?
No, my face. That's the work of Dr. Einstein. She's a plastic surgeon. She changes people's faces.
But I've seen that face before. Abby, remember when we took the Schultz boy to the movies and I was so frightened? Oh, yes! It was that face!
Easy, Johnny, easy. Don't worry, ladies. These last 5 years, I give Johnny 3 new faces. I give her another one right away. This last one, well, I saw that picture too just before I operated. Shh, I was intoxicated.
That's your work, Doctor. You did that to me. Even my own family.
Tony, you're home in this lovely house. How often she tells me of this house, of Brooklyn, about her aunts that she loves so much. They know you, Johnny, they know you. You know it's Joan. Speak to her, tell her so. What have you been doing all these years, Joan?
Yes, Joan, where have you been?
Oh, England, South Africa. I spent the past 5 years in Chicago, where Dr. Einstein and I were in business together.
Oh, well, we were in Chicago for the World's Fair.
Yes, we found Chicago awfully warm.
Yeah, it got hot for us, too.
My, but it's nice to be back in Brooklyn. Aunt Abby and Martha, just as I remembered you. Sweet, charming, hospitable. And dear Teddy, did he ever get into politics? My younger brother, Doctor, was determined to become the president.
Oh, Teddy's fine, just fine, and Mortimer's well, too.
I know about Mortimer. I see his picture at the head of his column. He's evidently filled the promise of his early nasty nature.
Well, we're very fond of Mortimer.
Oh, well, Joan, it was nice of you to come in and say hello.
Bless you, Aunt Martha. It's good to be home.
Well, Martha, we must let what's on the stove boil over.
Yes, excuse us, Joan, unless you're in a hurry to go somewhere.
There, Johnny? Where do we go from here? We got to think past. The police have pictures of that face. I got to operate on you right away. We got to find a place for that, and we got to find a place for Mr. Spinoza, too.
Don't waste any worry on that rat.
But, Johnny, we got a hot step on our hands.
Forget Mr. Spinaldo.
But you can't leave a dead body in the rumble seat. You shouldn't have killed him. He was a nice fellow. He gives us a lift. And what happens?
He said I looked like the bride of Frankenstein. That's your work, Doctor. You did this to me.
Look, Johnny, we find this place somewhere, and I'll fix you up quick.
Tonight.
No, Johnny, I got to eat first. I'm hungry. I'm weak.
Well, Joan, we're glad you remembered us and took the time to come in and say hello. But you were never happy while you were in this house, and we were never happy while you were in it, so we've just come in to say goodbye.
My dear Aunt Abby, I can't say that your feelings toward me come as any surprise. I've spent a great many hours regretting the many heartaches I must have caused you as a girl.
Yes, you were quite a trial to us, Joan.
But my great disappointment is for Dr. Einstein. I promised her the next time we were going through Brooklyn, no matter how rushed we were, we'd stop by here for one of Aunt Martha's home-cooked dinners.
Oh, well, I'm afraid there wouldn't be enough.
Oh, well, it's a pretty good-sized pot roast.
Hot roast.
And I think the least we could do is...
Oh, why, thank you, Aunt Martha. We'll stay to dinner.
Yes, we will hurry it along.
Yes.
Well, Joan, if you want to freshen up, why don't you use the washroom in Grandfather's old laboratory?
Is that still there?
Yes, just as he left it. I'll go help Martha, since we're all in a hurry.
Well, we get a meal anyway.
Grandfather's laboratory. And just as it was, Doctor, a perfect operating room.
Too bad we can't use it.
And that can finish with me. Doctor, we can make a fortune here. That large ward in the attic, 10 beds, Doctor. And Brooklyn is crying for your talent.
Fight yourself up. For Brooklyn, I think we're a year too late.
You don't know this town, Doctor. Practically everyone in Brooklyn needs a new face.
Yeah, but so many of the old faces are locked up.
A very small percentage. The boys in Brooklyn are known for paying generously to stay out of jail.
Take it easy, Johnny. Your aunts, they don't want us here.
We're invited to dinner, aren't we?
Yeah, but after dinner?
Doctor, leave it to me. This house will be our headquarters for years.
Oh, that would be beautiful. This nice, quiet house. Your aunts, they're such sweet ladies. I love them already. Like the birds, yeah.
Doctor, we haven't been invited yet.
But you just said that we'll be invited. And if they say no?
Doctor, 2 helpless old women.
It comes true, a beautiful dream. Only, I hope you're not dreaming. It's so peaceful here.
Yes, Doctor. That's what makes this house so perfect for us. It's so peaceful.
Charge!
Santies, those 5 years in Chicago were among the busiest and the happiest of my life.
And from Chicago we go to South Bend, Indiana.
They wouldn't be interested in our experience in Indiana.
Well, Joe, you've had a very interesting life, I'm sure, but we really shouldn't have allowed you to talk so late.
My meeting Dr. Einstein in London, I might say, changed the course of my entire life. You remember I was in South Africa in the diamond market, then Amsterdam in the diamond business. I wanted to go back to South Africa, and Dr. Einstein made it possible for me.
A good job, Johnny.
Then we take off the bandages.
Her face looks so different. The nurse had to introduce me.
I love that face, Doctor. I still carry a picture with me. Somewhere.
Well, it looks like the way you used to look, but still, I wouldn't know you, no.
Yes, Doctor. I think we'll go back to this face.
Yeah, it's safe now.
Well, Joan, I know you want to get to where you're going.
My dear Aunt, I'm so full of that delicious dinner. I'm unable to move a muscle.
Yeah, it's nice here. Well, after all, it's rather late.
I found it. I found it.
What did you find, Teddy?
The story of my life, my biography. Here's the picture I was telling you about, General. Here we are, President Roosevelt and General Goethals at Caliber Cut. That's me and that's you.
My, how I've changed.
Well, you see, the picture hasn't been taken yet. We haven't even started work on the Caliber Cut. But we are digging the locks, and General, we go to Panama to inspect the new lock.
Hello, Teddy, not to Panama.
Yeah, we go some other time. Panama's a young bill.
Nonsense, it's just down in the cellar.
The cellar?
We let him dig the Panama Canal in the cellar.
General Goethals, as President of the United States, Commander-in-Chief of the Army and Navy, and the man who gave you this job, I demand you accompany me on the inspection of the new lock.
Teddy, I think it's time you went to bed.
I beg your pardon. Who are you?
I'm Woodrow Wilson. Go to bed.
No, you're not Wilson, but your face is familiar. You're not anyone I know, but perhaps on my hunting trip to Africa, you look like someone I might meet in the jungle.
Teddy, it's your sister Joan, dear. She's had her face changed.
So that's it, a nature faker.
And perhaps you'd better get to bed, Teddy. Joan and her friend have to get back to their hotel.
General Goethals, inspect the canal. Go.
All right, Mr. President, we go to Panama.
Lily, follow me, General. It's down south, you know.
Well, bon voyage.
Aunt Abby, I must correct you on your misapprehension. You spoke of our hotel. We have no hotel. We came directly here.
Well, it's a nice hotel, just 3
Aunt Martha, this is my home.
Well, Joan, I'm afraid you can't stay here. We need our rooms.
You need them?
Yes, for our lodgers.
Are there lodgers in this house?
No, but we plan to have some.
Then my old room is still free.
But Joan, there's no place for Dr. Einstein.
She'll share the room with me.
No, Joan, you can't stay here.
Dr. Einstein and I need a place to sleep. You remember from this afternoon that I could be disagreeable as a child. It wouldn't be very pleasant for any of us if...
Well, Abby, why don't we let them stay the night?
Well, just for tonight, Joan.
That's settled. Get my room ready.
Don't we need airing out?
Yes, we keep it ready to show our lodgers. I think you and Dr. Einstein will find it comfortable.
You have a very distinguished guest in Dr. Einstein. I'm afraid you don't realize it now, but you will. In a couple of weeks, you'll be seeing a very new and different Joan.
Oh, no, she can't operate on you here.
When Dr. Einstein and I get organized, when we resume practice, oh, I forgot to tell you, we're changing Grandfather's laboratory into an operating room.
No, Joan, I will not let you turn this house into a hospital.
A hospital? Heavens no. It'll be a beauty parlor.
Hey, Johnny, down in the cellar.
Doctor, my aunts have invited us to live with them.
Oh, you fixed it.
Then you're staying here tonight.
Please get our room ready immediately.
Well, for tonight.
Johnny, then I go down in the cellar. What do you think I find? What? The Panama Canal. The Panama Canal? Yeah. It's a whole teddy dog. It just fits Mr. Spinoza. It's 6 feet long and 4 feet wide. Down there? Yeah. You'd think they knew we were bringing Mr. Spinoza along. That's hospitality. Rather a good joke on my aunt's. Living in a house with a dead body buried in their cellar?
Johnny, how do we get him in?
Well, you can't bring him in through the door. But we'll bring the car up between the house and the cemetery, and then when my aunts go to bed, we'll bring him in through the window. Bed. Just think, Johnny, we get a bed tonight. Easy, doctor. Remember, you're operating tomorrow, and this time you better be sober. Oh, Johnny, I think you are beautiful. And if you don't...
Children, room's ready.
Thank you, aunties. We're going to move the car up beside the house.
Oh, it's all right, friends, until morning.
I don't want to leave it in the street. It might be against the law.
Abby, what are we going to do?
Well, they're not going to stay in this house for more than one night, for one thing. Besides, what would the neighbors think? People coming in here with one face and out with another.
But what are we going to do about Mr. Hoskins?
Mr. Hoskins. Well, it can't be very comfortable for him there. And he's been so patient, the poor dear. Well, we'll have to get Teddy to take him down to Panama right away.
But I'm not going to invite Joan to the services.
No, we'll wait till he's gone up to bed, then come down and hold the services.
The general was very pleased. She said the canal was just the right size.
Teddy, there's been another yellow fever victim.
Dear me, this will be a shock to the general.
Well, then we mustn't tell her about it.
But it's her department.
No, Teddy, we mustn't tell her. We must keep it a secret.
A state secret.
Yes.
Yes, a state secret.
Promise?
You have the word of the president. Cross my heart and hope to die. Now, how are we going to keep this from the general?
Well, Teddy, you go back downstairs, and when I turn out the lights, when it's all dark, you come back up and get the man and take him back down to the canal. Now go along, Teddy.
We'll come down later to hold services.
Okay. You may announce the president will be saying a few words. Where is the poor devil?
He's in the window seat.
It seems to be spreading. We've never had yellow fever there before.
Martha, when Joan and Dr. Einstein get back, let's see if we can get them to go to bed right away.
And by the time they're asleep, we'll be dressed for the funerals. Abby, but I haven't even ever seen Mr. Hoskins.
Well, that's right, you were out. Well, you just come over here and see him now. He's really nice looking considering he's a Methodist.
We're bringing the luggage in through here.
Well, Joan, you can go right up. Your room's waiting for you.
I'm afraid we don't keep Brooklyn hours, but you two run along to bed.
Oh, you must be very tired, both of you. Don't go to bed this early.
Well, you should. It's time I came home and took care of you.
Well, we weren't planning on going until...
Aunt Martha, did you hear me say go to bed? The instruments can stay here until the morning. Now then, we're all going to bed.
I'll wait till you're up, then turn out the lights.
Another flight, Doctor. Run along, Aunt Martha. All right, Aunt Abby.
I'll be right up.
Now, Aunt Abby, turn out the lights.
Hurry up. Johnny, what's this for?
All right, you go outside, and I'll wait by the window. You hand him through.
No, wait a minute. He's too heavy for me. You go outside and push. I stay here and pull. Then together, we bring him down to Panama.
All right, I'll go take a look around outside. And then when I tap on the glass, you open the window. Oh, yeah.
Oh no, it's dark. I don't like the dark.
Okay. Oh, it's okay.
It's okay, I need it. Okay, hold on. Oh. Okay, chair. Table. Oh, okay. No problem.
Oh, left is open. Don't go. Okay, Johnny, let's get going. Come on. Oh, you big where his legs? Get his legs. They're coming. Johnny, there's his shoe again. I'll get it.
Oh no, Johnny, somebody's at the door.
Somebody's at the door. I'll get him. I stay here. Go.
Miss Abby? Miss Martha? Miss Abby? Miss Martha? Who is that? Is that you, Teddy? Who are you?
Who are you?
I'm Elaine Harper. I live next door.
What are you doing here?
I came to talk to Miss Abby and Miss Martha.
Doctor, the lights.
You picked a rather untimely moment for a social call.
I think you better explain what you're doing here.
We happen to live here.
You do not live here. I'm in this house every day and I've never seen you before. Oh, where are Miss Abby and Miss Martha? What have you done with them?
Perhaps we better explain who we are. This is Dr. Einstein.
Dr. Einstein?
Yes, a surgeon of great distinction. And something of a magician.
And I suppose that you're going to tell me you're the bride of...
No, I'm Joan Brewster.
Oh, you're Joan.
I see you've heard of me.
Yep, just today for the first time.
And what did they say about me?
Oh, only that there was a sister. And her name was Joan. Oh, that explains everything. I know who you are. You know who I am. I'll be on my way. If you'll kindly unlock the door. Be stuck here.
That explains everything. Just what is that supposed to mean? Why have you come here at this time of the night?
Well, I thought I saw someone prowling around the house. I suppose it was you.
Oh, you thought you saw someone prowling around the house.
Yes? Weren't you outside? Isn't that your car?
You saw someone at the car?
Yes.
What else did you see?
Oh, just someone walking around the house to the car.
What else did you see?
Oh, just that's all. And I came over here to tell Miss Abby to call the police. But if that was you, and that's your car, I won't bother Miss Abby. I'll be on my
What
way.
was this someone doing at the car?
I really don't know. I was on my way over here, you see.
And I think you're lying.
No, Johnny. I think she tells the truth minutes ago.
I think she's lying. She should not be allowed to run loose. Breaking into houses at this time of the night? I think she's dangerous.
Take your hands off me, doctor.
It's going to be a private funeral.
Oh, Teddy, tell this woman who I am.
This is my daughter, Alice.
No, Teddy. No, he doesn't.
John!
The cellar.
What's the matter? What's going on down there? What's the matter? What are you doing?
We caught a burglar, a sneak thief. Go back to bed.
We'll call the police.
We've already called the police.
Look, I know this isn't a nightmare, but what is it?
Come back home, Mortimer.
Who'd you say that was?
It's your sister, Joan.
Sister Joan.
She had her face changed. Dr. Einstein performed the operation.
Dr. Einstein. Joan, I always knew you were a monster, but do you have to look like one?
Easy, Johnny, easy.
Mortimer! Do you remember the things I used to do to you when we were younger? Remember the time I tied you to a bedpost? The needles? Ooh, under your fingernails?
Oh my God, it is Joan. Yes, I remember. I remember you as the most detestable, vicious, venomous form of animal life I ever knew.
Now, don't you two start. The
Don't
minute
worry.
you've seen each other.
Don't worry, Aunt Abby, there's not going to be any fight. Joan, you're not wanted here. Get out.
Dr. Einstein and I have been invited to stay.
Not in this house.
Not just for tonight.
I don't want her anywhere near me.
But we did invite them to stay for tonight, and it wouldn't be very nice to go back on our word.
All right, fine. Just for tonight, but first thing in the morning, they're out. So where are they sleeping?
We put them in Joan's old room.
Oh, that's my old room. I'm sleeping in that room. I'm here to stay.
Oh, Mortimer, I'm so glad.
Actually, we sleep down here tonight.
You bet your life you sleep down here tonight.
You sleep on the sofa, and I sleep on the window seat.
Oh, the window seat. Look, we won't argue about it. You know, I'll sleep on the window seat tonight. It's good enough for me.
You know, Tony, all this argument, it makes me think of Mr. Spinoza. Oh, Spinoza, oh, Mortimer, it won't be necessary to inconvenience you like this. We'll sleep down here and you can have the room.
Oh, Joan. Your sudden consideration for me is very unconvincing.
Tony, we get our things.
Don't bother, Doctor.
By the way, Doctor, I've completely lost track of Mr. Spinoza.
And who is this Mr. Spinalzo?
Oh, just a friend of ours Tony's been looking for.
Well, don't you bring anybody else in here.
Tony, then we go upstairs? I tell you all about it.
Mortimer, you don't have to sleep down here. I can go in with Martha, and you can have my room.
All right.
Oh. Wait. Aunt Tabby, that won't be necessary. Mortimer can have the room. We'll be packed in a couple of minutes.
Joan, I'm telling you, you're wasting your time. I am sleeping down here tonight.
Mortimer,
Oh, what's the matter with you, dear?
I've almost been killed.
You've almost been... Aunt Martha!
No, it was Joan. She mistook her for a sneak thief.
Oh, no, it was more than that. She's some kind of maniac. Oh, Mortimer, I'm so afraid of her.
Look, Joan, you're trembling. Why don't you sit down? Do you have any smelling salts?
No, but some hot tea or some coffee.
Oh, yeah, coffee will be great. And make some for me, too, would you? And some sandwiches. I haven't anything to eat.
We'll make something for the both of you.
Oh, Martha, we can leave our things downstairs here now.
You weren't going somewhere, were you? And you know what time it is? It's after 12. 12! Oh, yeah. Hey, darling, you gotta go home.
What? Mortimer?
You gotta go right away.
No!
Dear.
George, you wanted some sandwiches for you both. It
No,
won't be a
I'm not
minute.
very hungry.
Aren't you forgetting we're going to celebrate your engagement? That's what we'll do. We'll make something nice for the both of you and open a bottle of wine.
That'll be nice.
So nice.
Whoa! No! No wine!
Mortimer, what is going on in this house?
What do you mean, what's going on in this house?
Going on in this house? What? You asked me to dinner and to the theater. You canceled. Okay, well, you asked me to marry you. I said yes, and 5 minutes later you threw me out of the house. Now, just tonight. After your sister tries to strangle me, you want to throw me out of the house. Now, Mr. Brewster, before I leave, I need to know one thing. Where do I stand? Do you love me?
Darling, I love you so much, dear, that... Well, that's why I can't marry you.
Have you suddenly gone crazy?
No, I don't think so, but it's only a matter of time. See, insanity runs in my family. Well, it practically gallows. That's why I can't marry you, dear.
Mortimer, you have to do a lot better than that.
No, there's a strange taint in the Brewster blood. Well, if you really knew my family, it's what you'd expect if Strindberg had written Hell's Apartment.
Now, just because Teddy's a little
Oh, dear, it goes way back to the first Brewster.
First.
Yeah, you know, the one that came over on the Mayflower? You remember how in those days the Indians used to scalp the settlers? Well, he used to scalp the Indians.
But Mortimer, that's ancient history.
Well, now then there's my grandfather, for example. I mean, he used to try his patent medicines out on dead people so he wouldn't kill them.
Well, he wasn't so crazy. He made $1 million.
And then there's my sister Joan. You said yourself she's a maniac. She tried to kill you.
But Joan's your sister, not you. I'm in love with you.
And then there's Teddy. Come on, Teddy, he thinks he's Roosevelt. No, Brewster should marry, I realized if I'd met my father in time, I'd have stopped him.
Well, Mortimer, all this doesn't mean that you're crazy. Well, look at your aunts, for example. They're Brewsters, aren't they? Oh, and they're the sanest, sweetest people I've ever met.
Well, even they have their peculiarities.
Oh, yes, the lovely peculiarities they have. Kindness, generosity, human sympathy.
There's another one!
Oh, Mortimer, there are so many more. I bet that you can't tell me one about your aunts.
And I'm not going to. Look, darling, we've got to go home. Something really important has just come up.
From where? Mortimer, we're alone together.
I know I'm acting irrationally, but just put it down to the fact that I'm a mad Brewster, all right?
Look, Mortimer, if you think you're going to get out of this by pretending you're insane, you're crazy. Well, maybe you're not going to marry me, but I'm going to marry you because I love you, you dope.
Oh, darling, if you love me so much, will you please get the hell out of here?
Okay, will you at least walk me home? I'm afraid it's dark.
Oh, come on, a little walk through the cemetery?
Will you at least give me a kiss goodnight?
All right, dear. All right, good night, dear. I'll call you up in a day or two.
You critic! Oh.
Aunt Abby, Aunt Martha, come in here.
We'll be in a minute, dear.
No, come in here now.
What do you say? Where's the lady?
I thought you promised me you weren't going to let anybody into this house while I was gone.
Well, Joe just walked in.
I don't mean Joe.
And Dr.
And I don't mean Dr. Einstein either. Who is that in the window seat?
He told you, Mr. Hoskins.
It is not Mr. Hoskins.
Ooh. Who can that be?
Do you mean to tell me you do not know who this man is?
Well, I certainly am. Well, this is a fine how do you do. It's getting so anybody can walk right into this house.
Aunt Abby, don't you try and get out of this. He's another one of your gentlemen.
Mortimer, how can you say such a thing? This man is an imposter. And if he came here to be buried in my cellar, well, he's mistaken.
But you admitted to me that you put Mr. Hoskins in the window seat.
Yes, I did.
Well, he couldn't have just gotten the idea from Mr. Hoskins. By the way, where is Mr. Hoskins?
No, he must have gone to Panama.
Oh, then you buried him.
Oh, no, not yet. He's downstairs waiting for the services. We haven't had a minute, what with Joan in the house. Oh, dear, we always did want to hold a double funeral, but I will not read services over a total stranger.
A stranger? Aunt Abby, how can I believe you? There are 12 gentlemen in the cellar, and you admitted to me that you poisoned them.
Yes, I did. But you don't think I'd stoop to telling a fib. Martha!
Oh, Mortimer, I'd like to have a word with you.
Well, yeah, words about all you'll have time for, Joan, because I've decided that you and your doctor friend are getting out of this house just as quickly as possible.
Well, I'm glad you've realized that you and I cannot live under the same roof. But I'm afraid you've come to the wrong conclusion. So grab your suitcase and get out.
Joan, you're beginning to bore me. You've played your one-night stand in Brooklyn. Now move on.
Just because you've graduated from the back fence to the typewriter does not mean that you've grown up. I'm staying, you're leaving, now!
Look, you think I can be frightened? You think there's one thing that I fear?
Mortimer, I've led a strange life, but if it's taught me one thing, it's to be afraid of nothing.
Martha, just look and see what's in the window seat.
No, hey! Of course. So clear, Joan, let Aunt Martha see what's in the window seat. Aunt Abby, I owe you an apology. I have good news for the two of you. Joan is leaving. She's taking Dr. Einstein and their cold companion with them. All right, look, Joan. You're my sister. You're a Brewster. I'm going to give you the chance to take the evidence and get as far away from here as possible. You can't ask for more than that. Very well, then. I'll have to go for the police.
Don't reach for that telephone, Mortimer. Are you still giving me orders after seeing what's happened to Mr. Spinalzo?
Spinalzo? I knew he was a foreigner. I knew it.
Remember, what happened to Mr. Spinalzo happened to you, too.
Oh.
your lights on, I thought there might be a sickness in the house. Oh, you got company? I am sorry I disturbed you.
No, wait, come in.
Yes, come in. Come in, officer. That's our nephew, Mortimer.
Pleased to meet you.
Pleased to meet you.
And this is our niece, Joan.
Pleased to make your acquaintance. Well, it must be nice having your family visit. Yeah, I think I'll stay with you for a bit.
So you see, I'm staying. My sister Joan was just leaving.
See, I've met you here before, haven't I?
No, I'm afraid not. Joan hasn't been home in years.
Your face looks familiar to me. Maybe I've seen a photograph of you around here someplace.
I don't think so.
Oh, I'd hurry if I were you, Joan. But your things are all packed anyway, aren't they?
I'll be wanting to say your goodbyes. I'll be running along.
Oh, hey, what's the rush? I'd like to have you stick around until my sister goes.
I just dropped in to make sure everything was all right.
Well, we're gonna have coffee in a minute. My sister will be gone soon. Why don't you join us?
I forgot the coffee.
And I'll make some more sandwiches. I ought to know your appetite by now, officer.
Don't bother. I'm due to ring in a few minutes.
Oh, come on. You can have a cup of coffee with us. Here, sit down, won't you?
See, have I seen a photograph of your sister around here someplace?
No, I don't think so.
She seems awfully familiar to me.
She looks like somebody you've probably seen in the movies, right?
I never go to the movies. I hate them. My mother says the movies is a bastard art.
Yeah, it's full of them. Hey, your mother said that?
Sir? My mother, she was an actress. Peaches Latour. Have you heard of her?
Peaches Latour. Yeah, that seems like a name I might have read on a program. What'd she play?
Her big hit was Mutt and Jeff. Played it for 3 years. I was born on tour, the 3rd season.
Oh, were you? That's
yes,
great.
sir. Sioux City, Iowa. I was born at the end of the 2nd act. And mother made the finale.
Oh. What a trooper, you know. I bet you there's a good story in your mother. You know, I write for the theater, you know.
You do? See, you're not Martin Rooster, the dramatic critic?
Yes, I am.
Well, I certainly am glad to meet you. Ooh. See, Mr. Brewster, you and I are in the same line of business.
Are we?
Sir, I'm a playwright. All this being on the police force is just temporary.
Oh, well, how long have you been on the force, then?
12 years. I'm collecting material for a play.
But it's a honey.
Well, it ought to be. With all the drama I see being a cop, Mr. Brewster, you got no idea what goes on in Brooklyn.
I think I have.
Say, what time you got?
10 after 1.
Gee, I gotta ring in.
Oh, no. Harold, you know, on that play of yours, I think I might be able to help you.
You would? Say it was me fake walking in here tonight. Look, I'll tell you the plot.
Great. Are you leaving now, Joan? Oh, that's good, because you don't have much time, you know.
But everything's just about ready. Oh, you're leaving now, Joan. Goodbye, Dr. Einstein. Wait, does this case belong to you?
Oh, that's right, Joan. You can't leave without all of your things, you know. Well, Officer O'Hara, it was definitely a pleasure to meet you. We'll have to get together sometime and talk about your play. Very interesting.
I'm not leaving yet, Mr. Brewster.
Why not, sir?
You and I are gonna write a play together. Stop and help me play.
No, I can't do that. I'm not a creative writer.
I'll do the creating. You just put the words to it.
No, but O'Hara,
No, sir, Mr. Brewster. I ain't leaving this house till I tell you the plot.
Oh, in that case, Mortimer, we'll be running along.
No, don't try that. You can't go yet. You can't leave without everything, you know. Now, look, officer, let's be reasonable. You know, my sister was just leaving, and we're going to be wanting to get to bed, so...
I can wait. I've been waiting 12 years.
Sorry I took so long.
No, don't bring those in here. And Officer O'Hara, would you join us for a bite to eat in the kitchen?
The kitchen.
Joan's leaving.
Oh, that's nice. Huh? Follow me, officer.
Sure you don't mind eating in the kitchen?
And where else would you eat?
Goodbye, Joan. It's nice to have seen you again.
You know what, Joan? What? I'm actually kind of glad you came back to Brooklyn, and you want to know why? Because it gives me a chance to throw you back out again, and the first one to go is your boyfriend, Mr. Spinalzo.
See, Mr. Brewster, we're talking here.
All right, that's it. I'll be right in a minute. Go ahead.
I might have known you'd grow up to write a play with a policeman, Mortimer.
Look, get going, all three of you.
Doctor, this affair between my brother and I has got to be settled.
Now, Johnny, we got trouble enough? Your brother, he gives us a chance to get away. What more could you ask?
Doctor, you don't understand. This goes back a good many years.
Now, Johnny, let's get going.
We're not leaving. We're staying here tonight.
With a cup in the kitchen and Spain also in the window seat?
That's all they got on us. Listen, we'll take Spinalzo and dump him down in the bay, and we'll come right back here. Then, if they try to interfere, then...
Now, Johnny.
Doctor, You know, when I make up my mind.
Yeah. When you make up your mind, you lose your head. Brooklyn ain't a good place for you.
Doctor.
Okay. We stick together. Someday we get stuck together.
If we're coming back here, do I have to take this with me?
No, hide that down in the cellar. Move fast. Spinaldo can go out the same way he came in.
Hey, Johnny, come here. You know that hole in the cellar?
Yeah?
We got an ace in the hole. Come on.
I show you.
Look at that. Hey, Joan! Joan! Joan!
Yes, Mortimer?
Where have you two been? I told you to get going.
We're not leaving.
Oh, you're not leaving? Do you want O'Hara to know what's in the window seat?
We're staying here.
All right, Joan. Have it your way, but you know, this is good for me. Because it gets me rid of you and Officer O'Hara at the same time. Officer, come in here, please.
Oh, Mortimer, if you tell Officer O'Hara what's in the window seat, I'll tell him what's down in the cellar.
Not the cellar.
Oh, yes. There's an elderly gentleman down there who appears to be quite dead.
And what were you doing in the cellar?
What's he doing down in the cellar?
No thanks, son, there. Find him at plenty.
Oh, Mortimer, what were you going to tell Officer O'Hara?
Say, Mr. Brewster, your eyes want to hear it too. Shall I get him in here and tell you the plot?
Well, no, you can't do that now. You gotta go ring in.
To hell with ringing in. I'll get your aunts in here and tell you the plot.
No, look, not in front of these people. They wouldn't appreciate it. We'll get together someplace later, someplace alone, you know.
How about the back room at Kelly's?
Yeah, Kelly's will be fine. You go ring in and I'll meet you at Kelly's.
Oh, well, why don't you two go down in the cellar?
It's all right with me. Is this the cellar?
No, we'll go to Kelly's. But you're gonna ring in on the way, all right? Go ring in.
Won't take but a minute.
Look, I'll ditch this guy and get back in 5 minutes. When I come back, I'll expect to find you gone. Wait for me.
Oh, we'll wait for him, Doctor. I've waited a good many years for a chance like this.
We got him right where we want him. Did he look guilty?
Yes, Doctor. Take the bags and bring them upstairs.
Have they gone? Oh, we thought we heard somebody leave.
Oh, that was Mortimer, and he'll be back in a couple of minutes. Oh, would you get something to eat for Dr. Einstein and me?
Oh, but you won't have time. No, if you're still here when Mortimer gets back, I don't think he'll like it.
He'll like it. He's gotta like it.
Yes, get something to eat for when Dr. Einstein and I bury Mr. Spinalzo down in the cellar.
Oh, no. You can't bury Mr. Spinalzo here. No, Joan, you've got to take him with you.
Well, there's a friend of Mortimer's here.
A friend of Mortimer's?
Yes, he and Mr. Spinalzo will get along quite well. They're both dead.
Oh, she must mean Mr. Hoskins.
Oh, Mr. Hoskins. Oh, well, he's no friend of Mortimer's. He's one of our gentlemen.
Your gentleman?
And we will not have any strangers buried in our cellar.
But Mr. Hoskins.
Mr. Hoskins is not a stranger.
So you just get your Mr. Spinalzo out of here. Besides, the cellar's crowded already.
Crowded? With what?
Well, there are 12 graves down there now.
12 graves?
Yes, that leaves us very little room, and we're going to need it.
You mean to tell me you two have murdered?
Murdered? Certainly not. It's one of our charities.
But what we're doing is a mercy.
So you just get your Mr. Spinalzo out of here.
You two do this? And you bury them down there?
Hey, Johnny. We've been chased all over the world. They stay right here in Brooklyn and do just as good as you do.
What?
You've got 12 and they've got 12.
I've got 13.
No, Johnny, 12.
13! There's Mr. Spinalzo, the first one in London, 2 in Johannesburg, 1 in Melbourne, 1 in Sydney, 2 in San Francisco, 1 in Phoenix, the filling station, 3 in Chicago, and 1 in South Bend. That makes 13.
Johnny, you can't count the one in South Bend. He died of pneumonia.
Well, he wouldn't have died of pneumonia if I hadn't shot him.
No, Johnny, he died of pneumonia. He don't count.
He counts with me. I've got 13.
No, Johnny, you've got 12 and you've got 12. The old ladies are just as good as you are.
Oh, are they? Well, that's easily taken care of. All I need is one more. Just one more.
Well, here I am.
Stop doing that! This is our house and our center, and you can't do that! Ladies, please, go back upstairs where you belong!
Annie, Martha, go upstairs!
There's no sense for you doing what you're doing because it's just going to have to be undone. I tell you, we won't have it, and you better stop it right now! All right, you'll find out whose house this is.
I'm warning you, you'd better stop it. Hasn't Mortimer come back yet?
No.
Well, it's a terrible thing to do, to bury a good Methodist with a foreigner.
I will not have our son desecrated.
And we promised Mr. Hoskins a full Christian funeral. Where do you suppose Mortimer went?
I don't know, but he must be doing something because he said to Joan before he left, "You just wait, I'll settle this."
Well, he can't very well settle it while he's out of the house. That's all we want settled. What's going on down there? Mortimer, where have you been?
Okay, where's Teddy?
Where have you been?
Well, I've been to Dr. Gilchrist. I have a signature on Teddy's commitment papers. Where is he?
What's the matter with you?
Running around getting papers signed at a time like this.
Do you know what Joan is doing?
What's Joan doing?
She's putting Mr. Hoskins and Mr. Spinazzo in together.
All right, is she? All right. Is Teddy in his room?
Oh,
So
Teddy's not going to be much help.
Once he signs these, then I can tackle Joan.
Well, what do they have to do with it?
Well, you had to tell Joan about those 12 bodies. Now, if I can make Teddy responsible for those, I can protect you. Don't you see?
Oh, I don't see. We pay taxes to have the police protect us.
Well, I'll be back down in a minute, all right?
Well, come on, Martha. We're going for the police.
All right. No, police, you can't go for the police, no.
And why can't we?
Well, if you tell the police about Mr. Spinalzo, then they'll find Mr. Hoskins. And if they find Mr. Hoskins, then they'll be curious. And then, they'll have to report
Mortimer,
the...
we know the police better than you do. I don't think they'd pry into our private affairs if we asked them not to.
No, but if they found the 12 gentlemen, you see, they'd have to report to headquarters.
I don't think they'd bother. Because then they'd have to fill out a long report. And if it's one thing a policeman hates to do is to write.
But you can't depend on that. It could leak out, and then you couldn't expect a judge and jury to understand.
Oh, Judge Coleman would.
Yes, we know him very well.
He comes to church to pray right before election.
Oh, he said he was going to come here to tea someday, he promised.
We must speak to him again about that. His wife died a few years ago and has left him very lonely.
Well, come along, Martha.
No! You're not leaving this house. I will not let you. You cannot leave, and you can't have Judge Coleman to tea.
Well, if you're not going to do something about Mr. Spinazzo, we are.
I am going to do something, all right? We may have to call the police in later, and if we do, I want to be ready for them.
We want Joan out of this house.
And Mr. Spinazzo, too.
Please let me do this my own way. Now, I've got to see Teddy.
Mortimer, if they're not out of here by morning, we're going for the police.
And Abby, they'll be out. I promise you that, all right? Now, why don't you two get some sleep? For God's sakes, get all those clothes. You look like Judith Anderson.
Well, that's a relief, isn't it?
Yes. Well, if Mortimer's really going to do something, then this just means Joan's going to a lot of unnecessary trouble. We'd better tell her. Oh, John, you might as well stop what you're doing.
It's all done. Did I hear Mortimer?
Well, it will just have to be undone. You're going to be out of here by morning, Mortimer's promised.
Oh, are we? In that case, you and Aunt Martha can go upstairs and have a pleasant night's sleep.
Yes, come, Abby.
Good night, Aunties.
Not good night, Joan. Goodbye. By the time we're up, you'll be gone, Mortimer's promised.
And he has a way of doing it, too.
Then Mortimer is back.
Yes, he's upstairs talking to Teddy.
Goodbye, Joan.
Goodbye, Joan.
Perhaps you better say goodbye to Mortimer.
Oh, you'll see Mortimer.
Yes, I'll see Mortimer.
Phew, that's all fixed up. Smooth like a lake. Nobody'd ever know that they were down there. Oh, that bed feels good already. 48 hours we didn't get sleep. Come on, Johnny, let's go to bed, huh?
You're forgetting, Doctor.
What?
My brother Mortimer.
Oh, no, Johnny. We do that tomorrow or the next day.
No, tonight, now.
But Johnny, I'm tired. On tomorrow, I got to operate on you.
Yes, Doctor, tomorrow you do have to operate. But tonight we take care of Mortimer.
But Johnny, please, I'm tired.
Doctor, look at me. You can see it's going to be done, can't you?
I can see. I know that look.
It's a little too late for us to dissolve our partnership.
Okay, we do it, but the quick way. The quick twist, like in London.
No, I think this calls for something special. I think perhaps the Melbourne method.
Oh, no, Johnny, not that. 2 hours. And when it was finished, but the fellow in London was just as dead as the fellow in Melbourne.
We had to be fast in London. There was no aesthetic satisfaction in it. But Melbourne, now there was something to remember.
Oh, remember? Oh, I wish I didn't. No, Johnny, not Melbourne, not me.
Yes, Doctor, get your instruments.
No, Johnny, I won't do it.
Where are they? Oh, you hid them in the cellar.
No,
Where?
Johnny, I won't tell you.
Then I'll find them myself.
No, Johnny, please don't do it.
Whoa, don't do that, Mr. President.
I cannot sign any proclamation without consulting my cabinet.
But this must be a secret proclamation.
A secret proclamation? How unusual.
See, Japan mustn't know until it's signed.
Japan, those devils, I will sign it right away. You have my word for it. I'll let my cabinet know later.
Great, we'll go sign.
You're forgetting a secret proclamation must be signed in secret.
But at once, Mr. President.
I'll put on my signing clothes.
You go now, huh?
No, Doctor, I'm waiting for something very important.
Please, you go now.
Dr. Einstein, I have nothing against you personally. You seem like a very nice lady. Now, why don't you take my advice and get as far away from this house as possible, all right?
Trouble, yeah? You get out.
All right. Don't say I didn't warn you.
I'm warning you. Get away quick.
Look, things are going to start popping around here any minute.
Listen, Tony's in a bad mood. When she gets this way, she's a monster. Things happen. Terrible things.
Joan doesn't bother me now.
Oh, Kimmel, don't those plays of yours teach you anything?
About what?
Well, at least people in plays act like they got sense. That's more than you do.
Oh, you think so, do you? You think people in plays act intelligently? Yeah. Well, I wish you'd had to sit through some of the ones I've had to sit through, Doctor. I mean, take, for instance, the little opus I saw tonight. Right. Now, in this play, there's a man who's supposed to be bright. Now, he knows he's in a house with murderers. He ought to know he's in danger because he's even been warned to get out of the house. But does he go? No, he stays right there. Now, I ask you, is that what an intelligent person would do?
You're asking me?
He didn't even have sense enough to be frightened or to be on guard. I mean, for instance, the murderer invites him to sit down.
You mean... Oh, won't you sit down?
You know what? I think that one was in there, too.
And what did he do?
He sat down. Now, I ask you, is that something an intelligent person would do? I mean, so there he sits, all waiting to be trussed up, and what do you think they used to tie him up with?
What?
The curtain cord.
Well, why not? Very convenient.
Yeah, a little too convenient if you ask me. I mean, when are the playwrights going to use some imagination? The curtain cord.
Oh, he didn't see him get it?
See him? No. He sat there with his back to him. That's the kind of stuff I have to sit through night after night. They say the critics are killing the theater. No, I'm sorry. It's the playwrights who are killing the theater. I mean, so there he sits anyway, the big dope. This fellow's supposed to be bright, all waiting to be trussed up and gagged.
You're right about that fella. He wasn't very bright.
If you don't mind, Mortimer, we'll finish the story. Mortimer, I've been away for 20 long years, but never once, in all that time, my dear brother, were you out of my mind. One night, while I was in Melbourne, I dreamt of you. And when I landed in San Francisco, I felt the strange satisfaction of knowing that we were in the same country together once again.
Please tell me the quick way.
Doctor, This really must be an artistic achievement. After all, we're performing before a very distinguished critic. Tony! Doctor, we get to work.
All right, let's get it over.
Oh, Doctor, remember these?
Oh, I remember those.
This. All ready for you, Doctor.
Oh, okay. I got to have a drink first. I can't do this without a drink.
Pull yourself together, Doctor.
I gotta have a drink first. When he walked in here this afternoon, there was wine on the table. Where did he put it? Johnny, look. Wine. I split it with you. We both need a drink.
Doctor, where are your manners? Mortimer, I realize now that it was you that brought me back to Brooklyn. Doctor, to my dear dead brother.
Damn that idiot, that's all. He goes next, that's it. He goes next. No, Johnny, that's first up. No Teddy. We get to Teddy later. We don't get to him at all.
Now we got to work fast.
The quick way,
Yes, Doctor, the quick way.
Hey! Could quit blowing that horn.
Sorry, officer, it won't happen again.
It's gonna be hell to pay in the morning. I promised the neighbors he wouldn't do that anymore.
It won't happen again, officer. Good night.
Better speak to him myself. Say, you stood me up. I waited an hour Achilles for you. What happened to him?
He was explaining the play so tonight, and that's what happened to the fella in the play.
Did they have that in the play you saw tonight? Gee, they practically stole that from the second act of your play. When we second act, just before the... No, I better begin at the beginning. It opens in me as a dressing room, where I was born. Only, I ain't born yet. Huh? Oh, yeah. No, you've got to hear the plot. So she's sitting there, making up, see? When all of a sudden, through the door, comes a man with a black mustache. Turns to me, mother, and says, Miss Latour, we are married. Only doesn't know she's pregnant. There she is, lying across the table in her lunchroom. Chinese guy spinning over with a hatchet. I'm tied up in the chair, just like you are. Place is an inferno of flames. It's on fire. When all of a sudden, through the window, comes Mayor LaGuardia. Hey, go easy on it. Remember who paid for that?
Well, I'm listening, ain't I?
How do you like it so far?
Well, it put Johnny to sleep.
Leave her alone. She ain't got no more interest in that. She don't get a drink. All right. It's 3 days later. I've been transferred and I'm under charges. It's because somebody stole me badge. So I'm walking me beach on Staten Island. 46th precinct. When a guy I'm following, it turns out it's really following me. Don't let anybody in. So I figure out how smart. There's a vacant house on the corner. I goes in.
It's Scoops!
I stands there in the dark. I sees the door handle turn.
Johnny, wake up, it's Scoops!
Backs myself up against the wall, pulls me guns and says, come in.
What the hell is going on here?
Pat, what do you know? This is Mortimer Brewster. He's gonna help write me play with me. I'm just telling him the story.
What, did you have to tie him up to make him listen to it?
Joe, you better report it to the station. The whole force is out looking for you.
Did they send you here for me?
I wouldn't even know you was here.
No, we came to warn the old ladies that there's hell to pay. The colonel blew that bugle again in the middle of the night.
Yeah, from the way neighbors been calling in, you'd think the Germans dropped a bomb on Flatbush Avenue.
The lieutenant's on the warpath. He says the colonel's got to be put away someplace.
Yes, thank you. He's got to be put away right away. You're absolutely right.
Say, Mr. Brewster. You gotta get away, so I'll just run through the third act quick.
Yeah, you just get away from me, all right?
Hey, do you two know what time it is? It's after 8 o'clock in the morning.
Gee, Mr. Brewster, the first track's running a little long, but I don't see anything we can leave out.
Well, you know what? You can leave it all out.
Who the hell is this?
Oh, that's my sister.
The one that ran away? She came back?
Yes, she came back.
This is Brophy. Get me Mac. Better let them know that we found you, Joe. Mac, tell Lieutenant you can call for the search. I found what he's looking for. In the Brewster house. Do you want us to come in? Oh, all right. We'll hold tight right here. The lieutenant's on his way over.
So, I've been turned in, huh? All right, you got me. And I suppose you and that stool pigeon brother of mine are gonna split the reward.
Reward?
Now I'll do some turning in. I suppose you think my aunts are a couple of sweet little old ladies. Well, they've got 13 bodies buried in their cellar.
Teddy! Teddy! Teddy!
What the hell are you talking about?
You better be careful what you're saying about your aunts. They happen to be friends of ours.
I'll show you. I'll prove it to you. Come down to the cellar with me.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
13 bodies. I'll show you where they're buried.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you want to see what's down in the cellar?
Better go down to the cellar with her.
I'm not so sure that I want to go down to the cellar with her. Did you get a look at her? Come on, she looks like the bride of Frankenstein.
Get off it!
I'm in.
What the hell are you men doing here? I told you I was gonna handle this.
Well, here's just a...
What is it? Did she put up a fight?
This ain't the one that blows the bugle. This is his sister. She tried to kill Clanks.
All I said is that she looks like the bride of Frankenstein.
We'll turn her over.
We kind of think she's wanted somewhere.
Oh, you kind of think she's wanted somewhere. If you guys don't look at the circulars we post in the station, at least you could read True Detective. Sideways she's wanted. In Indiana, escaped from the prison for the criminally insane. She's a lifer, for God's sake. That's how she was described. She looked like the bride of Frankenstein.
Was there any reward mentioned?
Yeah, and I'm claiming it.
She tried to get us down in the cellar.
Yeah, she said there were 13 bodies down there.
13 bodies buried in the cellar. And that didn't tip you off. She came out of a nut house.
But all along, she talked kind of crazy.
Oh, it's Shakespeare. Where have you been all night and you needn't bother to tell me?
I've been right here writing a play with Mortimer Brewster.
Yeah? Well, you're going to have plenty of time to write that play. You're suspended. Now get back and report in.
Can I stop by sometime and use the station typewriter?
No, get out of here. Take her somewhere else and bring her too. So you can find out about her accomplice. The gal that helped her to escape, she's wanted too. It's no wonder Brooklyn's in the shape it's in, with the police force full of flatheads like you. Falling for that kind of story, 13 bodies in the cellar.
But there are 13 bodies in the cellar.
Who are you?
I'm President Roosevelt.
What the hell is this?
He's the fellow that blows the bugle.
Good morning, Colonel.
Well, Colonel, you've blown your last bugle.
Dear me, another yellow fever victim.
What?
All of the bodies in the cellar are yellow fever victims.
No, Colonel. This is a spy. We caught in the White House.
Will you get her out of here?
If there's any questioning of spies, that's my department.
You keep out of this.
You're forgetting as president, I'm also head of Secret Service. Wait!
Captain, I'm Mortimer Brewster.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. Look, I wanted to talk about my brother Teddy, the one that blows the bugle.
Oh, Mr. Brewster, we ain't gonna talk about that. He's got to be put away.
Oh, I quite agree with you. In fact, it's all arranged for. You see, I've had the commitment papers signed by Dr. Gilchrist, our physician. Teddy signed them himself, and I've signed his next of kin, you see.
Where's he going?
Happy Dad.
All right, I don't care where he goes as long as he goes.
Oh, he's going all right. And before he goes, I want you to know that everything that's happened in this house, Teddy is totally responsible for. Now, those 13 bodies in the cellar.
Yeah, those 13 bodies in the cellar. It ain't enough that the neighbors are all afraid of him, and it's disturbing the peace with that bugle. But can you imagine what would happen if that cockeyed story about 13 bodies in the cellar got around? Yeah, and now he's starting to get a little fever scare. Cute idiots.
Yeah. 13 bodies in the cellar. I mean, who'd ever believe a story like that?
Well, you can't tell. Some people are just dumb enough. You never know what to believe sometimes. About a year ago, a crazy guy starts a murder rumor over in Greenpoint, and I had to dig up a half-acre lot just to prove it.
Oh, wait, excuse me 1 minute.
Sure.
Hello.
Good morning, Mortimer.
Good morning, dear.
This is Miss Witherspoon. She's come to meet Teddy.
To meet Teddy?
Mm-hmm. Miss Witherspoon
Yes, hello.
is the superintendent of Happy Dad.
Oh, well, come in, Miss Witherspoon. Yes, hello. Miss Witherspoon. Yes, this is Captain...
Lieutenant.
Yeah, Lieutenant.
I'm glad you're here, Super, because you're taking him back with you today.
Today? I didn't know that.
Oh, not today, Miss Witherspoon.
Look, Elaine, I've got some really important stuff to take care of, so why don't you run along home and I'll call you up tomorrow.
No.
I had no idea it was this immediate.
The papers are all signed. He goes today.
Completely insubordinate, you men will find I am no mollycoddle. When the president is treated like this, what is this country coming to?
There's your man, Super.
Oh, wait, just 1 minute. Mr. President, I have some wonderful news for you. Your term of office is over.
It's March the 4th.
Well, practically.
Well, I guess I go on my hunting trip to Africa now. I must get started immediately. Is she trying to move in before I moved out?
Who, Teddy?
Taft.
No, Teddy, this isn't Taft. This is Miss Witherspoon. She'll be your guide on your trip to Africa.
Oh, bullying, just bullying. I'll get my equipment ready. Right. Tell me when the safari comes, sir. Oh, goodbye, Aunt Abby. Goodbye, Aunt Martha. I'm going to Africa. Isn't it wonderful?
Good morning, dear.
Oh, we have visitors.
Yes, this is the Lieutenant Rudy.
Oh, how do you do, Lieutenant? My, you don't look like the fuss budget the policeman say you are.
Look, why the lieutenant is here, yes. Well, you know, Teddy blew his bugle again last night.
Oh, yes, we're going to have to talk to him about that.
Yes, we
It's a little more serious than that, Miss Brewster.
Oh, and you haven't met Miss Witherspoon. Yes. She's the superintendent of Happy Dad.
Oh, Miss Witherspoon, how do you do?
You've come to meet Teddy.
She's come to take him.
Charlie, the police want Teddy to go there tonight.
Oh, no.
But we're alive.
I'm sorry, Miss Brewster, but it has to be done. Teddy signed all the papers, and he's going along with the superintendent.
Well, no, we won't permit it. We promised to take the bugle away from him.
We won't be separated from Teddy.
I'm sorry, ladies, but the law is the law. He's committed himself, and he's going.
Well, if he goes, then we're going too.
You'll have to take us with him.
Well, why not?
Well, that's sweet of them to want to, but it's impossible. You see, we can't take sane people at Happy now.
Miss Witherspoon, if you allow us to go and live with Teddy, we'll see that Happy Dal is in our will for a very large amount.
Well, the Lord knows we could use the money, but I'm afraid...
Now, let's be sensible about this, ladies. For instance, here I am, wasting my morning when I've got serious work to do. You know, there are still murders to be solved in Brooklyn.
Yes, oh, are there?
Yeah, it ain't only his bugle blowing, and the neighbors afraid of him, but it would just get worse. Sooner or later, we'd be put to the trouble of digging up your cellar.
Our cellar?
Yeah, your niece has been telling around there are 13 bodies in your cellar.
But there are 13 bodies in our cellar. If you think that's why Teddy has to go away, well, then you come downstairs and we'll prove it to you.
Yes, there's one Mr. Spinazzo who doesn't belong here, and he will have to leave. But the other 12 are our gentlemen.
Look, I don't think the lieutenant wants to go down in the cellar. You know, he was telling me just how last year he had to dig up a whole half-acre lot. Weren't you, Lieutenant?
That's right.
Oh, well, you wouldn't have to dig here. All the graves are marked. We put flowers on them every Sunday.
Flowers. Superintendent, don't you think you could find room for these ladies?
Well,
Please come along and we'll show you the grave.
I'll take your word for it, lady. I'm a busy man. How about it, Super?
well, they'd have to be committed.
Well, now, Teddy committed himself. He signed his own papers. Why can't they do the same thing?
Why, certainly.
Why, if you have the papers, we'll sign them. Where are they?
Yes, where are they?
Lieutenant, he's coming around.
Oh, how do you do, Mr. Klein? Oh, hello, Mr. Klein. Are you here too?
Yeah, me and Pat got your niece in the kitchen.
We'll sign them up, Superintendent. I want to get this all cleaned up. 13 bodies.
And he'll sign right here.
And you signed the other one, Aunt Abby.
But I'm so happy we're going. The neighborhood here has changed so.
Oh, Abby, just think, a front lawn again.
We're looking something.
What are we...
Well, we're going to need the signature of a doctor.
Oh, Dr. Einstein, would you sign some papers, please?
Please,
Doctor, please, sign some papers. Well, this morning I thought the doctor was going to operate on me. You'll just sign those, please, Doctor. Thank you.
Oh, well, were you leaving, Doctor?
Yeah, I was just going.
Oh, you're not going to wait for Joan?
I don't think they're going to the same place.
Oh, hello, Elaine. Stick around, won't you? I'd like to talk.
Oh, don't worry, I'm going to.
Hello, Mac. Rooney. Yeah, we picked up that gal that's wanted in Indiana. Well, there's a file there on the desk about her accomplice. Read it to me. Yeah, red hair, 5'6", 114 pounds, eyes, talks with a German accent, poses as a doctor. Yeah, thanks, Mac.
It's all right, Lieutenant. The doctor here has just completed the signature.
Hey! Thanks, Doc. You're really doing Brooklyn a service.
Mr. Brewster,
Yes.
you sign now as next of kin.
Right here?
That's fine.
All right. Now, this makes everything complete. Everything's legal now, right?
Oh, yes.
Okay, now you're safe, Aunties.
When do you think you'll be ready to start?
Miss Witherspoon,
Yeah.
why don't you go upstairs and show Teddy just what he needs to take along?
Upstairs?
Oh, here, I'll show you. Miss Witherspoon.
No, Mortimer, we need to talk to you. Yes, Miss Witherspoon, upstairs and to the left.
Well, Mortimer, now that we're leaving, the house is going to be all yours.
Yes, dear, we want you to live here now.
Aunt Abby, this house is too full of memories for me.
Oh, but you're going to need someplace for you and Elaine when you get married.
Well, darling, that's very indefinite.
Oh, it's nothing of the kind. Mortimer and I are going to get married right away.
Oh, but Mortimer, we're worried about something.
Oh, I wouldn't worry. You'll love it at Happy Gal.
Oh, that's just it. We're very happy about the whole thing. We don't want anything to go wrong.
Will they investigate those signatures?
Oh, don't worry. They won't look up Dr. Einstein.
It's not her signature we're worried about, dear. It's yours.
Mine?
Yes, you see, you signed as next of kin.
Well, of course. Why wouldn't I?
Well, it's something we didn't want to tell you, but now that you're a man, and something Elaine should know too, you're not really a Brewster.
You see, your mother came to us as a cook, and you were born about 3 months afterwards, and she was such a sweet woman and such a good cook that we didn't want to lose her. So brother married her.
So, you mean to tell me that I'm not really a Brewster?
Now, don't feel badly, dear.
Elaine, it won't make any difference to you.
Elaine, did you hear that? You understand? I'm a bastard!
Mortimer's coming to my house. My father's gone to Philadelphia. We'll have breakfast together.
Yeah, I've had quite a night. I could use some coffee.
Well, I think you'd want to get to bed.
I do.
Miss Witherspoon, take this
with you.
I won't need the wagon. My car's out front.
Oh, you're leaving now, Joan.
Yeah, she's going back to Indiana. There's some people there who want to take care of her for the rest of her life.
Well, we're leaving too.
Yes, we're going to Happy Dale.
Well, then I guess this house is seeing the last of the Brewsters.
Well, unless Mortimer wants to live here.
Well, why don't you turn the property over to the church?
Well, we never thought of that.
After all, it should be part of the cemetery.
All right, let's get going. I'm a busy man.
Well, aunties, goodbye. I can't better my record now, but then again, neither can you. At least I have that satisfaction. The score stands even, 12 to 12.
Joan always was such a mean girl. Never could stand to see anyone get ahead of her.
But I wish we could show her she isn't so smart.
Miss Witherspoon. Does your family live with you in Happy Dale?
I have no family.
Oh, well, you must consider everyone at Happy Dale your family.
I'm afraid you don't quite understand. As head of the institution, I have to keep quite aloof.
Well, that must make it very lonely for you.
It does, but my duty is my duty.
Well, Martha. Well, if Miss Witherspoon won't join us for breakfast, at least you try a glass of our elderberry wine.
Elderberry wine?
Yes, we make it ourselves.
Why, yes. Of course, at Happy Dale, our relationship will be more formal. But here, you don't see much elderberry wine nowadays. I thought I had my last glass of it.
Oh, no. No, here it is.
Hey, great show, guys.